So there was one thing, the last piece of weird news. I didn't know if you knew this. I didn't know this. Back in 2017, Gatorade was banned and fined $300,000 for bad-mouthing water in a video game.
Toy Story?
Gatorade.
Toy Story?
So we talked about Florida in the last one. And that was more probably, I guess, because right now it is dreary and cold and rainy, and Florida is nice and happy and sunny, even with all the crazy.
That's where I want to be.
But there's also another reason I wanted to bring up Florida, and I broke this up in two. And okay, right now, and I posted this something recently on my personal Facebook. I don't know, Aaron. Oh no, you probably haven't seen it, Aaron. That's fine. No. So what it was there was a very decent, I shouldn't say very good, but it was a decent looking deep fake.
Deep fake.
You know what deep fake is, right?
No.
Like an AI, artificially computer generated video.
Image or
video. It was a video of Zelensky,
wow.
President of Ukraine, saying to his people, give up, go home, this isn't worth the fight, sort of deal. And it was someone hacked into a Ukrainian TV station and played that video over the Ukrainian TV.
How do people do this? Okay.
We're not going to go over how people do that. Just know that they do, and it is possible. And I am not going to reveal.
You can tell me after off air.
Like you can understand it.
I know I'm okay. Not, but so you can tell me. It's fine.
Yeah. So anyway, so he goes, my advice, the fake video goes, my advice to you is to lay down arms and return to your families. It is not worth it. It is not worth it dying in this war. My advice to you is to live. I'm going to do the same. And, that was not, so deep faking a photo is one thing, creating a realistic
video,
but this was a video with him talking.
That's intense.
If you're familiar with who this Zelensky guy is, it's easy to kind of see. But if you're unfamiliar, or if you're in the middle of a crisis and you don't have time to sit there and analyze a video.
Yeah, to hear that, it's like, what?
So, if you look at it side by side, you could quickly point out, oh, his head is way too small.
Oh, really? Okay.
But if you're in the middle of something, or if you're only hearing it because...
Yeah, if you're not watching.
You might go, wait, what? What is going on?
Yeah. Well, I mean, how do they... I'm just trying to think of, because obviously it's going to be different. He says different things in the videos. How do you... Because obviously, I mean, there's the videos that I've, heard, seen, whatever, where it's like, take a word, you can like put words, take individual words that the person has said and chop it up and stuff like that and make it sound like they're saying something else, but then you can totally tell how choppy and just all over the place it is with the vocal tones. It's like, okay, that was fake and made up, but yeah, I'm sure this person made it very believable where it said that he was just saying it. How do you do that? You're not gonna tell me. So.
Well, no, there's software I can buy right now, right? Oh. I feed it voice samples, let's say of you, Aaron.
And you can just create.
And then I can go into essentially like Notepad, type in what I want you to say.
And it'll say whatever it is.
Generate it with your voice.
I don't like that. Why is that allowed?
Because they use that for creativity. Look, what movie was it? It wasn't a movie. It was a TV series. Star Trek Picard.
What?
Yeah, it's a Star Trek series. Okay, so you probably haven't watched. I can guarantee you probably haven't watched it.
Nope.
But anyways, this is from, spoiler alert, one of the recent episodes of the latest series, seasons, and one of the characters, his name is Q. That's the character's name.
Okay.
Played by John Delancey. He's an older guy. Him and Patrick Stewart are both older men. But what they do is they take him and they digitally de-aged him. So made him look like he was like how he was when he originally started playing the role. So you can do that. One of the Star Wars movies recently, one of the actors had passed away before the movie had even started going.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm not even talking about Carrie Fisher. I'm talking about a whole other actor. And they digitally recreated him just for
one part.
The movie. Yeah.
What? Oh, I guess I didn't know that.
But yeah, they also did that with Carrie Fisher as well.
Yeah.
And now you have other people going on and doing that as, you know, with other things.
Well,
so it's getting easier and easier. There's a website you can go to where it's graphic cards around the world and NVIDIA programming, essentially creating photos of people that never existed. But they are 100% accurate photos of real people that you can use. And they look 100% authentic.
I don't like that.
But that's not what I was going for. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there that's just fun.
Technology, man, it's too good.
Yeah,
too good for its own good.
Well, technology is good, but it can also be used greatly for evil.
Yes, right.
Such as, like I said, the Ukrainian thing.
Yeah.
You have news that it gets leaked out or gets spread out.
Fake news.
Well, here's the thing: some of the fake news, let's take for example the Hunter Biden's laptop. Right before the election, everyone said, "Nope, it's fake. It's fake. It's fake. It's fake." And now, this past week, so the week of March 15th, 2022, during that week, New York Times has authenticated all the emails from that laptop and saying, "Yep, they're real."
It's all real.
And you have to kind of look back a little bit and go, "Wait a minute, hold up. If these are real, what does this really mean?
What does this also indicate?"
Because there's a lot of stuff in there that, to be honest, is damning, not only of Hunter, but of Biden himself.
Yeah. Joe. Good old Sleepy Joe.
And so it's like, wait a minute. What is real? What is... And the thing is, I think we've gotten to such a point where when things come out and there's such this big brigade behind something saying this is fake or this is real or this is whatever, I don't know about you, but I am almost like a little jaded to the point where I go, yeah, I don't trust you at all with this.
No, yeah.
The more
it's hard to trust anybody.
Yeah, but right now it's like I go, the more I hear the more I hear you insist that, oh no, this is fake news, the more I want to go, so how long until this is real?
Right, yeah. Eventually we'll find out and be told something different.
How long until I hear the complete opposite of what you're telling me? What?
Yeah.
Again,
absolutely.
The Hunter emails, which are beyond damaging, beyond I would like to say that they don't show any sort of beholdence of Joe to other countries, but it does, to be honest, due to financial interests and financial stakes. And it's just like, come on, seriously. And things that I was willing to kind of just, before be like, okay, whatever, fine. It's gotten to the point of where I can't even let those things fly anymore. And I have to go, no, we can't just let these things fly anymore. And we need to start having answers for these things. And, and when, what's her name? Psaki or whatever.
Jen
Psaki. When was pressed on some of these things, she's like, well, all the experts say, and as soon as she said that, I just said,
it's like, nope.
Okay, so you're covering up and lying. Got it.
Yeah.
Because I'm that jaded enough from hearing time after time after time these things of people lying to go with the narrative, and then, oh look, the truth comes out, and all of a sudden, oh, that didn't age well.
Yeah. Busted.
Yeah, so one that didn't age well real quickly was the whole Florida Don't Say Gay bill. Do you remember hearing about that?
No, I don't remember hearing that. Besides, no.
So you don't remember anything about that?
No. The Don't Say Gay bill?
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised considering that's been all over, and you even mentioned a comment about it before.
Well, no, but the video is the guy saying
Uh-huh.
gay repeatedly. So I guess I must not have been paying attention to the whole thing or much of anything, because I was like, is he just trying to promote people saying it to get over the word and get used to it or what? But no, yeah, I didn't realize there's a Don't Say Gay bill.
So that's what the media says. That's what they call it.
What, the Don't Say Gay bill?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why the guy that you're referring to sat there and said gay 100 times or
Over
whatever.
and over and over and over and over
Mark
again.
Hamill on Twitter just did a Twitter post of just saying gay, 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 gay. I think another guy from Star Trek, George Takei, did almost the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, oh, da da da. Was she the governor or the gubernatorial candidate in South Carolina? She's like, wrote a thing. She's deleted the message off of Twitter now, but she's like, to all the youth in Florida who need a motherly figure to talk with, feel free to slide into my DMs. And I was just like, well, that's creepy.
Yeah.
But so we have this whole big Don't Say Gay bill, right?
Okay.
You know, wanna know why they're all up in arms about this bill?
Oh.
Classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3 or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with state standards.
That's a lot of words.
Okay, that's a lot of words, but listen to the first one. First few. Classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3. In other words, you can't do sex ed or what's your gender identity between kindergarten and grade 3, and that's where they came up with the Don't Say Gay bill.
That's so. What was the other thing that was? Because what was the other thing that you had shared? Or was that video? Or that what that gal was talking about? That was the summer sexy camp thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be doing the opposite of what this is supposed to be doing? Like what? Because the gal that was talking in there is like, oh, about like masturbation. Like I encourage all ages to do this, and you know, because I remember there was a big thing about like, I mean, it was years ago. But there's talk of like sex ed being taught to younger kids and stuff like that. And it's like, well, why are we trying to teach this to younger kids? And but then so this don't say gay bills against that, if I'm understanding that correctly.
Yeah, it wouldn't allow that camp in Florida. Well, as a school curriculum.
As a school curriculum,
yeah,
right?
This wouldn't be that camp wouldn't necessarily be a school curriculum. That'd be its own little weird
thing you can send your children off to.
Yeah. So what Aaron's referring to is a group of people that want to run a summer camp that teaches, and they target it at children, but it does say of all ages. So they're even allowing. There's a possibility of them allowing adults. But like you read the syllabus, and it's like a hands-on instructional guide to masturbation, and you just sit there and go, "Wait, no, kids do not need that."
No, we'll figure it out on our own anyway.
As the kids have been doing that for years and generations, right. So they will figure that out.
We don't have to teach them how at a young age.
Yeah,
and then have adults tied into the manner.
Yeah,
because that's not messed up at all.
It was just creepy. So if you want to look more into that, look into.
Yeah, have fun with that.
Enjoy destroying your search history by doing that. But regardless, back to the Don't Say Gay bill. There's nothing in there that says that you can't say
gay. It's just.
So what they're getting
Why do they call that?
Because they're upset about one other provision in the bill.
Okay.
The bill requires the schools to notify parents if there's a change in the student's services or monitoring related to the student's mental, emotional, or physical health or well-being. In other words, if the student, Aaron, you as a child, as a second grader, go up to your teacher and go, Miss Smith, I'm a little girl now. I want to be Susie.
I want to be Susie.
If you do that, at that point, the school would be obligated by the law to notify your parents.
Yeah.
Hi, Mrs. Johnson. Did you know your son Aaron wants to be called Susie now?
No, not my little boy. You mean girl.
You mean your daughter. Be supportive of your daughter. And so that's what they're all upset about. Because right now, there's really a lot of freedom and and again, I say TikTok is cancer, and this also proves why. There's a lot of teachers on TikTok that go, well, I'm so proud my student came up to me today and said they are transgender and they want to be a she now, and their pronouns are she, her, blah, blah, blah.
It's so exciting.
And she's like, I updated her school record to show her new name now. And I'm just in there going, wait. We're doing this behind the parents' back? I'm not a parent, and I know that's wrong.
Yeah. It's just common sense.
The kids do not belong to the state or the school. The
Correct.
Kids are the parental responsibility of the parent, not of the school.
Of the school.
The kids are not communal. Because I know there's that thought going around that kids don't belong to anyone. They belong to all of us, the community.
No.
And I'm like,
no,
no, sorry. That's not how this works in the real world. Sorry, crazy girl.
It shouldn't be, but it's like almost like that's where things want to go. I find it crazy how we're so okay with kids making decisions like that on their own now. Because it was very opposite for me growing up, where it's like, you're just a kid. You don't know what you don't know what you're thinking right now.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find out one day, and and you'll learn. And I was like, well, yeah, sure enough, that's kind of how things are going.
Yeah, it's kind of that's a change, not just in that regard, but across the board, like you're kind of hinting at there.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're a kid, your hormones are raging, or you're confused, you're playing pretend or whatever, and all of a sudden it's gone to, okay, today Susie feels like a unicorn, so we're going to tell Susie that she is a unicorn, and this is what we're doing.
It's so it's so
and I sit there and go, okay,
that's not good.
And that's
not good.
And that's where we've gone to recently. Unfortunately, we've decided that
we can be whatever you want to be. All those stupid motivational speeches at high schools. You know, go follow your dreams. You can do whatever you put your mind to. Well, now this is what we're putting our mind to, and we're idiots.
See, the one thing that a lot of motivational speeches, they make a big assumption. A big assumption that the Bible says is false. The assumption is that you are good and you want only what is good.
Oh, right.
That is the assumption.
Yeah.
Whereas the Bible tells us we are born wicked with a wicked heart that desires wickedness.
Right.
That is our default out of the box settings.
Mm-hmm. So to think that we just want to do good for ourselves.
No, because what they define as what we want to do as good for ourselves is what feels good at the time.
Right.
And that feels good could be anything from going to a bikini bar to getting high on bath salts to getting drunk to...
That's what I don't get. We're definitely becoming so much more feel driven. Whereas, how do you feel? What do you feel like you want to do? Then do it. Because I could feel like I want to go racing after just a fun time drinking. That's what I felt like I wanted to do. So
that whole cultural phenomenon of I just want to just vibe.
Dude, good vibes, man. No bad vibes. Give me that positive energy.
Well, not only that, they're like when you're vibing with your friend, and it's just like,
Oh, yeah.
there's that too, you know. So it's
Yeah.
just like, okay, no, that's
It's
not how real life works. And that's what the problem is. We've
gone away from reality.
well, reality, yeah, we have. I mean, especially even with bills like again, like the Florida bill, you know,
Mhm.
the reality is this is what it says on the text, but the reality that most people are hearing, you know, CNN, MSN, all that is they're hearing it's don't say gay bill. And so then they respond with this insane argument of gay, 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 gay. Oh, look, I broke the bill. And it's like, no, you actually didn't break any bill.
Yeah.
You didn't break any
Read into
laws,
it.
and you weren't showing any protest against the thing because you're being nonsensical.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
if you want to argue against the bill, you would argue with stuff like, here's why science says we should talk about this in K through third grade. You know, and to be
What did we ever I'm trying to think of if we even talked about anything
the earliest we had any
remotely.
sex ed was fourth grade in my school.
Okay.
And we still had overhead transparencies for everything.
Heck yeah. Well, me being at RCS, we had overheads for I think the whole time when I was there. No, we had a projector in the upper like like last 3 grades, I guess. But yeah, I don't think we really talked about sex ed until like 6th or 7th grade.
Oh, wow. You guys were far behind the curve.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started back in good old fourth grade.
At least I think so. I mean, obviously we knew what it was before then, but then we didn't really have an actual like talk about it or
I'd say, okay, let's say you said sixth or seventh grade. Did you
yeah.
guys start in sixth grade?
I'm gonna say 7th because we had for one of my teachers that we had, he was the one that was teaching it.
Man, seventh grade, that's
That's
late.
late.
That's late.
Yeah.
That you should start at probably around fifth grade at the latest.
I mean, that's when the experimenting started in 5th grade.
I don't like how you said that.
That's not a good way to put it.
That just sounds wrong on so many levels. No,
That's where that was the grade in which I started looking into porn. Yeah. I'll say that.
okay.
That experimenting.
I mean, that in itself is bad enough. Yes, I get, but that phrasing sounds better than because when you say experimenting without any qualifications, all of a sudden,
there's
a lot of things could.
There's a lot of assumptions that could go into that.
There's yeah. Yeah. Oh, geez. I think I in that regard, I was kind of lucky because I didn't have internet or anything. So that wouldn't obviously I knew all about all the sex ed stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't think I started looking at that until 8th or 9th.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, probably 9th after my dad died.
Yeah, I remember the first time my old man found the search history, brought me downstairs, and they had it pulled up. I was like, "What are you doing looking at that?" He's like, "I know this is what you're looking at." I'm like, "Nah, how do you know?" I didn't, man. I never learned about the whole history thing until years later.
And now kids are born and they're like, "Oh yes, do all that incognito."
Automatically,
it's like,
no.
Dang it!
It's great.
No, it's not great, but
I'm sorry. Yeah, sarcastically great.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that.
But anyway, now that we got derailed by that.
Oops.
Oh man.
You never know where our conversation's going.
I know that's half the time. It's just like, okay, how is this gonna get derailed?
I am the new Josh.
But yeah, so I think schools should teach it because let's be honest, there are parents that essentially give over the entire raising of their kids to the schools. They don't teach any of their kids any of that.
Okay.
So, that's on us. That's on
Yeah.
us as a society as well. And maybe parents should take that responsibility back. Just saying that, right?
Yeah.
But I understand also then why schools say, hey, you know what? Let's get everyone at least a baseline education level of this, and which is good because,
Right.
hey, you know what? At some point, you need to understand that actions have consequences, and that if you two decide to go play around in the car, that one of you may get pregnant, and this is why.
This is what's gonna happen.
Yes. And this is why that child is going to look like you when it's born.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So, so that's why it's like I'm not all like, oh, we should never have the sex ed stuff in the schools. I think it's good to have a well-educated populace, but
Yeah.
not kindergarten to third grade. I think that's a little young.
That's I guess the other thing that I guess I'd be weary of is like, so what do we allow to be taught then?
See, at that point, the way the world is, there's going to be a like, don't I don't have any other way to say it, but like two tiers essentially.
Mhm.
Tier 1 is going to be public. Tier 2 is going to be private.
Yeah.
Tier 2 public right now, it's going to be, your traditional sex ed plus gender identity plus all this other stuff that goes into it. Your private, like Christian schools, are going to be like probably just the straight up, here's your sex ed.
Yeah.
Don't get someone pregnant.
Right. Don't be dumb.
Don't do something stupid. Don't get someone pregnant.
Yep.
Whereas, public schools are going to be like, and if you want to transition and change your name, do this, do this, do this. And there are some places that are trying to get it where you can get gender, essentially like puberty blocking hormones without parental consent. Which I'm like, no, you shouldn't be allowed to do that.
No.
Period. You shouldn't be allowed to do medical procedures without your parental figures at least knowing about it and consenting to it, because that's not something that.
Because you're not. I mean, until you're 18 in a hospital, like, so your parents make your decisions for you.
Yeah, you're not legally allowed to do that for anything else, except somehow they're trying to carve a way for you to do that for gender, puberty blockers.
Stupid.
And I'm just like, what? How? What? Why?
Yeah.
But going back to the Florida bill,
Yeah.
because again, everyone's going gay, 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 gay. Oh, I just said gay, and you said don't say gay bill, right?
I'm such a rebel.
They do have a little, I guess you could say, an exception in the bill. If like the teacher, and this is where it'll probably get abused.
Uh-oh.
If the teacher thinks that there's a risk of abuse, abandonment, or neglect, then they don't have to follow the bill.
Huh. I guess, and it all depends on how you define some of that stuff.
So the example they give, and this is from theweek.com, NewsGuard certified, just throwing that out there.
Official.
A transgender student who wears girls' clothes and uses a feminine name at school, but lives as a boy at home because of parental threats, would not have to be outed to the parents.
Huh.
So that's an example that they give of like, hey, this is a carve out in the bill where it's not this 100% you have to do this. It's if there is a threat of abuse, abandonment, neglect, where the student would be negatively impacted greatly, then you do not have to follow the provisions of this bill, which I think is more than adequate, honestly. Because what you're saying is hey, look, if you have any reason to believe that this student would be in trouble if this was made known to their parent, then don't.
Right.
So, Aaron, you lived in Florida. Your son decided to go buy a girl at school. They wouldn't have to tell that to you.
Yeah.
Because they'd be like, nope, he's a crazy. He'd do something crazy.
I can understand that because it's like, that's horrible that, I guess, you would abuse. I guess, it's abusing your child instead of correcting your child for that, I guess, behavior, I suppose you could say. Because, abuse is never okay. That's bad.
Yeah. And regardless of how much I disagree with, in school teaching of like, oh, If you feel like a girl, you're a girl. If you feel like a
Yeah.
boy, you're a boy. It doesn't matter what your actual gender is.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. However much I agree with that, the abuse side of it is even worse.
Right.
And I say, no, that cannot happen. So it leaves me in a weird situation,
Yeah.
to be
No.
honest.
Yeah, it is.
Because if I'm being honest here, I think sex ed topics like that for children, and I say children, okay? And I'm drawing the line at under 18 and over 18. Under 18, you're a child, regardless of how old of a soul they may be, how mature they act, how
Right.
wise they may be, whatever. Under 18, you're a child. Things change in your life rapidly, especially once you hit those teenage years. Between the hormones and your life accelerating and everything else, your life is careening out of control and you don't know what's going to happen half the time. So for under 18, obviously the traditional sex ed that we've been doing is just fine. Should we include stuff about, the transgender, homosexual stuff and all that? I'm hard on that. I'm hard pressed on that because at one point I want to say, I don't care, go for it, do whatever your state allows you to do because state rights, that's where I draw the line at. But there are times there's part of me that goes, if I had a kid, I wouldn't want them to be in any of those classes because that's not something that my faith allows me to believe in. But at the same time, I know that there are people outside my faith who have that and are going through that, and so let them learn about it. So, that's where where I draw. I am having some trouble drawing the line there, but where I draw the line is under 18. Under 18, no hormone suppression, no gender reassignment, no nothing like that.
No,
Okay.
nothing like that.
Once you're 18 or above and you're your own adult,
Make your own decisions.
make your own decisions, and you live with the consequences of it.
Yeah. I guess I feel like I'd imagine, and I guess I'm thinking of like, having it as a curriculum to study or like, a class to learn. I mean, can't you just make it as like something that having classes available, but having it as what is it called, like an elective or whatever? So it's like you choose to take the class instead of making it a mandatory class to learn about.
Yeah, and that would
So
probably
it's
be a
like,
good option.
yeah, like you have your sex ed, but have it be like the basics, and then for those that want to explore into the other stuff, then have it as a class that they choose to go in on their own, and not make everyone have to learn about it, I guess. But
Yeah, and that I would be
yeah,
fine with that if it was an elective,
yeah.
part of it. Whereas I'm gonna guess no from you,
Nope.
but we're gonna find out.
Okay, what am I saying no to?
Do you know who? Do you know who Blair White is?
No.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That made me think of the Blair Witch Trials. So that's very different.
yeah, I was right. The Blair White was suspended off of Twitter. So Blair White is what?
Oh, I know. I do know who that is.
Okay, who's Blair White?
The YouTuber. Well, that's how I knew of her.
All right.
I've seen her. I guess like I've seen her on a couple things. Like I thought like with what Tim
Pool.
Pool.
Yeah.
So that's I know of her. I don't know a ton about her, but yeah.
Okay. So you know that they exist there, right?
Yes.
Blair White is a male to female, right? Transition person.
Nope.
Yep. Yep.
I did not.
Yeah. So Blair White is a male to female, transsexual, however you want to, whatever the correct terms are nowadays. I don't even know. They keep changing so fast.
Tranny. I don't know.
I think people kind of look down on that one, but yes. Yes.
Because that just makes me think of transmissions.
Oh my goodness.
So anyway, yeah, I can see how that's looked down upon. So,
but anyways, so Blair White, male to female. But even they have come out and said And I think she's like the same age as you, about.
What?
No, just a little older. Born 93.
Oh, 2 years. Oh,
She's 5'5".
she's short.
Short. But she came out recently and said that she does not support any sort of transgender reassignment or puberty blocker or anything for under 18. And
Wow.
people got on her case. That's probably in part why her Twitter account's suspended right now.
What? Why would you be so?
And that came from someone who did the
Who
surgery.
has done? Yeah. I said, why would you not listen and take their advice since they are one that went through it on their own? Like, how stupid is? That's what all this. When people say trust the experts, like, oh, okay, gotta trust them. But then for something like this, it's like they would be more of an expert, quote unquote, in that area compared I guess your average Joe. So it's like, well, I guess I don't know who's all going after. It might not be your average Joe going after her, but
No, it's going to be
it's
people.
going to be the people that are very much for, well, obviously the whole transitioning stuff that just want it.
Yep.
That's upsetting though. It's like, why would you not listen to someone from your own community?
So if you look,
Mind blowing.
if you look on various statistic sites, right?
Uh-huh.
In the United States, about 8% of people responded that they had detransitioned. So they transitioned from, let's say, male to female back to male.
Yeah.
And so you look at it, different countries are different. In Netherlands, about 1.9%. In the Netherlands, 1.9% that were on puberty blockers and not want to continue with it and wanted to go back to their normal.
Mm-hmm.
And Sweden found that 2% of participants in a study wanted to detransition, but they didn't follow up to see how many actually did. So your statistics are all over the place, depending on the country as well. So it's like, don't know how this is going to go.
How to put this together.
But you speak against the narrative, and all of a sudden it's the,
you're out for blood.
Blair White hates her own people type of deal. Not, hey, Blair White, someone who has gone through the process, is cautioning people who are thinking about the process to really think about the process they're about to go through.
Right, because it's going to have a rather big impact on you.
Oh, yeah. Puberty blockers will have a very big impact on you. What are you talking about?
No, to put it lightly. But.
And so that's why you're looking through all this stuff right now in the media and everything else. And it's like, okay, how much of this can I trust? And I've come to a conclusion. I cannot trust anything I have not directly seen. Unfortunately, that's where it's come to. And I'm not talking about directly seeing like, oh, look, I watched the video of the Ukrainian thing.
Oh, no.
Because that's a recorded thing. I can't trust recording because those can be deep faked. I can't trust the news reports because we're finding out more and more how just ridiculous, corrupt those are.
Mm-hmm.
And when a particular viewpoint wants to be pushed, it's going to be pushed no matter what. I'm also finding out that depending on, if you're following only news from one segment, if you're following very partisan news, your news is just going to be leaned and slanted to believe only in that worldview only.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting here going, I can't trust anything.
Either of them.
I can't trust anything. Because this bill that came out, the Don't Say Gay bill, 100% not there. That's not what it was.
Right. That's... Man.
And I don't know what to do about it.
It's just... I love the song Land of Confusion because that's all this world is.
It is. And I feel sorry to say, but I feel probably like in Florida, things are more direct than they are here in the rest of the world. I mean...
Time to move to Florida.
I think Florida man is more sane than our news media. And that's saying something. Because our news media is a little whack.
Mm-hmm. Either side of it.
Both sides.
Yeah. It don't matter.
And I'm not saying one side is better than the other, because both sides are just as guilty as believing and spreading false information.
Mm-hmm.
And let's look at the whole crazy aftermath after the election. The most fortified election ever. You know,
yeah.
and that's in all quotes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, but you have people on the right saying, "Oh, the Dominion voting machines are being remoted into, and all this other stuff." And you look at the real data, and it's like, no, that you're just using that as a talking point to try to convince people who don't understand how technology works that you are right and to do these things.
Right.
You know, and then on the other side, you got, well, all these people who have these fantasies about Hunter Biden's laptop. Oh, wait, that was wrong. The laptop was real. The emails were real. The photos were real. Stop.
Yeah.
Because you remember all the photos that came out of Hunter with doing drugs.
Yeah.
And like, you want to say, yeah, these are all real. But then at the same time in my head, I'm going, but that could be so easily faked. So how do we get to what is real?
How do we find out what's true?
And it's unfortunately, I don't know if you ever saw it. Someone did a meta-analysis. They took a news story and then they went to all the local TV stations. So, you know, not like the big Fox station, but like all the small, like Channel 6, blah, blah, blah. And then they played them literally side by side. And you could have them all lined up side by side and you hear the same exact script from all the local news stations.
Oof.
They're like, wait. You're telling me Iowa, Wisconsin, New York, Illinois, Arkansas, they all have the same exact script for their local news station? How interesting.
Sounds like it's a little set up.
It's like, gee,
it's scripted.
Where did they get all this?
From the big one in charge, whoever that may be. Ooh, I've never even thought about that.
Yeah, it was it was very eye-opening, and I think because it's fair use, I think I might be able to get away with this.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our Treasure Valley communities, the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are concerned about trying to get responsible, one-sided news stories
plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 That gave me chills.
Yeah, hearing all those in unison.
Oh my goodness.
I counted. It was like 6 across by 6 deep.
Oh.
When you heard all the voices simultaneously, that was all of them playing at the same time.
Oh, that was freaky.
But I mean, that's them reading the same
script.
And I love how at the end they're like, oh, this is a threat to our democracy. This is a threat to our democracy. Threat to our
guys
democracy.
are a threat to our... Oh my gosh.
What I find funny, right? What is the United States?
What? Huh?
What is the United States?
It's not a democracy.
Right. What is it? It's a constitutional republic.
I had republic in mind, but I was like, what's the word before it? Okay. Yeah. Constitution.
constitutional republic.
Well, yeah, constitutional republic. We have a big thing called the Constitution.
Yeah. So what's the difference between the two of those? Do you know?
Well, for the wouldn't the Constitution kind of disrupt a democracy to a point? Or it doesn't? Because if it was a democracy at some point, wouldn't there just be like what they say goes kind of thing for whatever's voted for?
Well, okay. So for a democracy, right?
Yeah.
How does that run? What's a democratic form of government? What does that mean?
Oh gosh, take me back to civics class.
I know. Well, hey, at least you had civics class.
I mean, sort of, ish.
Yep.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it, huh? Why not?
I don't know. I just wasn't interested in it. I was a teenager, Paul. I didn't care about school.
Okay, so democracy is a system of government
Yes.
by the whole population or the eligible members of the state, whatever,
Yeah.
through elected representatives.
Yes.
Okay. What's a republic?
I don't know.
No idea, huh? A republic is a state in which supreme power is held by people and their elected
Official
representatives.
Okay.
Okay. A constitutional republic. Excuse me. Just double checking here. So the constitutional republic essentially is, in our case, where it is set up and structured via the Constitution.
Right.
And that's the big difference. So that's the difference there where we have. So it's what it's saying then is at that point is the power is with the people, but with the elected representatives as defined and constrained by the Constitution.
By the Constitution.
Whereas a democracy is essentially you vote for Representative A, and if Representative A, votes for more than 50% of a bill, then that passes.
Right.
So that's why I found funny about that video. It's like our democracy. We're not really a democracy. And what I find is even more of a threat is all of them reading that same script in unison.
I wonder. Gosh, I'd be interested to go through. I guess classes like I don't know. I guess civics, history classes, and current day.
Why is that?
I guess I just wish. Well, one, I wish I could go back through it back then, like when I went through it, and go over the same material again, but then see if it's any different now.
I just thought of a new segment.
What?
Aaron goes back to high school.
Dude, let's do it. Send me back.
No.
Because
I don't want to have to help you with your homework. I'm going to be the nerd that has to help someone else with their homework.
But yeah, I don't know. Gosh, something's wrong with the education system.
Gee, you think?
Yeah.
When people don't know how to read the bill of a text and understand what the text of a bill actually says, and not realize that it does have the word gay in there once.
So what is wrong with the system? Or what isn't wrong?
I'll say the main thing wrong with the system as it stands right now is geared towards test taking. We have to pass these standardized tests. As long as you pass the standardized test and the school gets the funding, then you're passing.
Right.
That's the big thing. I hate to say it, but we need to get rid of the standardized testing.
Yeah.
I understand the reason why they're put in originally was because they were afraid people were falling behind. But now all the schooling is geared towards passing the test, and they don't care if you fall behind still, as long as you can do the schooling.
The test.
Yeah. I know. Crazy, right?
Man.
And maybe we need to revamp that, because maybe if people understood what is actually going on in the world, if they had some literacy on how governments worked, how the news worked, I wouldn't be hearing questions from my mother like, why doesn't Ukraine just want to be part of the United States?
What the heck?
People would be able to read the text of a bill and understand it. And maybe part of that is we need to have something where bills are written in clear, plain English, not this high fluent wordsmith thing.
Yeah.
Where there's so much ambiguity put into the bill, where instead we make it very clear, black and white, this is how it's going to work in plain language.
No, nothing's straightforward.
And maybe we stop having, pages that are like thousands, or bills that are like thousands of pages long, and saying, okay, you get it today, we're going to vote on it tomorrow. Say, you know what? For every 100 pages, there's a day delay before we can take the next vote.
Right.
And obviously people are going to go, but think of the children that are dying with the COVID. In which case I go, Fauci, you're responsible for it anyway, so stop. B, that's why we have emergency powers for as well, for those emergency things until the bill can be passed. That's why there are executive orders, emergency orders, stuff like that, to quickly pass things through.
I don't like growing up in this world.
I think you'd be rare growing up in Florida at this point.
Yeah.
I would be at this point.
I mean,
I'd rather deal with someone eating half a face off of a man than having to deal with all the crazy of people not understanding how to read news, how to critically judge the news, and not just say, oh, yes, great TV, you said this, so therefore I'll listen to you. What else do you say to me? Oh, great, Brian Seltzer.
Yeah.
Your bald head is entrancing.
He's the sunshine of my day.
If that's the sunshine of your day, you have a very depressed life, and I think you need to be committed.
Put me away.
Forcibly.
Ugh. Gosh, it is I was almost thinking, because I'm thinking like worldwide, like for other countries, people don't know what's going on in the world.
Depends.
Point.
Outside the United States, the BBC news service is highly regarded and highly, distributed.
Okay.
It's more popular outside the United States than within the United States. BBC is considered one of the most reputable and actually non-lying, non-biased news sources out there. So that is definitely one of the news sources I check when I hear something that doesn't pass the smell test. Smell test. Yeah, I almost said the smalt test. What's a smalt test?
I don't know.
Yeah. So when it doesn't pass the smell test initially, I'll go check the BBC and see what they say.
Interesting. Okay.
And all the stuff that goes on there. Now, that being said, they did put something out there like Florida approves "Don't Say Gay" bill and stuff like that. But at least they put in quotes, and in other words, indicating that people are calling it that. That's not what the bill is called.
That's not what the bill is instruct. Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, the whole bill passed in Florida. You saw the whole thing that happened with Disney, right? Because of that.
Because of that bill? No.
So because of that happening in Disney, or in Florida, sorry, not in Disney.
Yeah.
It was found out then that Disney company is donating to politicians, some of which are supporting the "Don't Say Gay" bill. So all of a sudden Disney staffers got upset. And then, typical employer back and forth going on. Eventually Disney pulled their funding from those politicians. I'm going to guess, and I'm going to go on the record saying this, for now, I have a feeling they'll once this dies down some, they'll just be like, okay, here's your money again, right?
Yeah.
So
just wait till the thing dies down and tempers are cooled, and we'll do it again.
And of course, the "Don't Say Gay" bill passes, and then 108 people were arrested for human trafficking. Apparently, that's what the initial headlines say, and then you read into the details. Right. One person was a human trafficker, for child endangerment. Majority of them were seeking prostitutes, and the rest were offering up prostitution.
Yeah.
Now,
I hate how they put the
I know,
headlines.
But for those people, they didn't identify which four, but for those people that were caught in the 108 were Disney employees, and one was an ex-Illinois mayor. So just from our neck of the woods.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh boy. Yay, yay, yay.
Oh, the fun times.
But yeah,
we're
when that
having.
bill hit, when that news article hit originally about Florida, it was like 108 caught in human sex trafficking or human trafficking. I was like, oh, geez, Louise, this can't be. And then you read on it. Oh,
Yeah.
only one's a human trafficker. The rest are
Just sex offenders and prostitutes or seeking.
yeah, but the 4 sex offenders are kind of bad because they're against minors.
Yeah. Oh no. I mean.
Oh, that'd be
it's-
the worst if those 4 are the Disney.
I mean, ample opportunity.
It's the happiest place on earth for pedophiles.
Huh?
That will get me sued.
Yeah, you said this about our company. Yeah, we're coming after you.
You know what? At that point, I'd be like, you know what? Screw this. What do I got to lose? I'm going to declare bankruptcy on you anyways. Take out ads right outside Disney. No, at that point, I would be setting myself up for trouble and would not do that.
Yeah. Oh man. But there's just it's terrifying to know how much we don't know and how much is hidden from us.
I wonder how many more instances of the news channel of the news doing that script reading.
Oh, I don't want to know. I hated that. I really did. That
Why?
I don't know, just the sound of everybody together, that just freaks me out. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't like it. When we talk about brainwashing,
Yeah.
we're doing it all the time.
And the thing is, like, again, you look at it. Yeah. So that's 36 channels that they used as an example.
36 channels. Now, granted, that is small in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, but they're all
But
local
that's-
channels. Can you
That's the
imagine how many more weren't recorded?
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's that. I guess I'm thinking, even if it's hitting the local that hard, obviously it's hitting the big ones without a doubt.
And there was a one I was starting to play a little bit, but it was not as clear cut, I don't think, for you. But it was that story about Amazon.
Yeah.
Every line, they were like line or line and a half. They're switching to a different news.
Yes, yeah.
And so, even that.
Yeah. I guess for that one seems less, I guess, believable to me to a point. Like when he has all those together at one time, that's nuts. But I guess I don't know. Granted, I'm sure since they had that out there, I mean, I'm with the whole Amazon stuff when they were doing earlier, with just the smaller snippets. I mean, it's easy to pick apart small phrases like that and putting them all together and making you think that a bunch of people are saying the exact same thing. But when you had all of those together like that, that was like, oh boy. At least from how my mind would think about it. But
Yeah,
still frightening.
it is. It is, man. And
Because we're just getting fed one message from one person, but it's going through everyone. Well, I can't say one person, but yeah. The elites.
uh-oh, you've said the magic word.
I did. I know. My bad.
Oh, boy. At least you didn't pull John Cooper and say the other magic word.
I'm sorry. I haven't been listening to him a whole lot lately, so I don't know what the other magic word is.
You know how,
At the moment.
Florida passed the Don't Say Gay bill?
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, America, we have the Don't Say COVID bill.
Don't say.
Because as soon as you say COVID and on any sort of media,
Yeah.
your content distribution
It's
just
like,
goes down.
no.
COVID.